Network Entertainment.
Hello everyone! Welcome back to another episode of Kaya Pa Ba? And I know I'm usually very serious about the episodes because we try to get into the TED Talks and the Oprah of it all. But kinikilig po ako right now. Yun lang po. Gusto ko lang po sabihin na kinikilig ako ngayon sa kasama ko sa interview because I have Asia's Phoenix, the one and only Morissette Amon is here.
Hello po! Hi, everybody!
So, welcome to Kaya Pa Ba?
Thank you so much.
I know, I was just telling you about this earlier, pero yung iconic song mo na gusto ko nang bumitaw, para siyang long-lost twin ng aking show na Kaya Pa Ba?
It's connected.
It is connecting. It is giving cinematic parallels.
Let's go!
Diba?
Multiverse
ang atake natin. But thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Very excited to do this. Sige, simulan ko na. Okay, so before I do my first question, so this is a side comment first. I have been a Morissette fan, The Voice.
Let's go!
Pa lang. As in, nandun ako sa Resorts World Manila noong September 2013 when you sang What About Love.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my God!
With the lion hair, no?
Grabe. As in, sobrang spontaneous nung pag-standing ovation ko after you sang your last note. I was like, crown her already! And I just checked the video. It has over 9 million views now.
That's crazy.
Sobrang
I have not visited that video in so long.
So guys, sorry. As in, I was Team Morissette pa lang
thank you.
time. As in, grabe yung ginawa mo nun. You didn't have to serve it that way.
Wow.
Especially the last 10 seconds of that performance. Tinaas mo pa. Basta ayoko na siyang gawin dito kasi usually nado-dog show lang ako ng mga singing. Pero may katabi po kasi ako talagang actual vocalist. But that performance, I was like, just the level of skill, excellence, poise, grace, stage presence that time. I was like, that is my kind of girl.
Nice!
Ayun lang.
Go!
I just wanted to get that out of the way. Because baka sabihin nyo lang, oh my God, bakit? Sobrang fan po ako talaga malali.
Oh my gosh,
Okay.
thank you so much.
So
Thank
now,
you po.
natapos na tayo sa ating meet and greet. Okay. Mag-interview na po tayo ngayon. So, the first question I always ask my guests is, kamusta ka today? Answer that however you feel like answering it.
I am doing good. Also, syempre, I am right now, yung headspace ko lang talaga is just working on the concert because I think out of all the shows I've done in the past, ito talaga yung pinaka-tutok ako. I'm actually really also producing this. A lot of the concepts are coming from yung mga brain cells ko po talaga. And so, very tutok po ako. But I'm very, very excited. Honestly, ultimately, I mean, I'm feeling many things, but I'm just very, very excited na mangyayari na tong concert na to. Especially since I've just dreamed about this for so long na po talaga. And so, ito na siya.
I love it.
Other than that, I'm great.
We will get to hear about Morissette, the producer, later. So sa bandang dulo yun, syempre dapat sa dulo pinopromote, di ba? Mamaya na, sandali lang. I mean, I guess I have to talk about the song Gusto Ko Nang Bumitaw.
Yes.
I mean, it is, I think, what kids call a cultural reset. It is now a meme. It is a state of mind. It is a mantra. It is a life choice.
It is a choice.
You've only sang this particular song a handful of times,
Yes,
right?
I can count with my two hands. I rarely sing this song just because ang hirap lang po talaga niya. And I've shared this also with a lot of my fans and even si Kuya Jonathan, who is, Jonathan Manalo is the producer of the song. Nasasabi ko talaga, Kuya, hindi ko talaga siya kayang all the time. Kasi alam mo naman, hindi lang siya, emotionally also, it takes a toll, of course. It's it's a very heavy song. But also, syempre, yung singing niya talaga, naku po, di kaya pag dire-diretsuhin talaga.
Correct. Good thing you mentioned about the emotion of the song because the lyrics I think are very, very powerful.
They are very
and I know more than of course the technique. You also try to give the lyrics justice as much as possible.
Of course, yes.
So I guess I want to know what your relationship with the lyrics of Gusto Ko Nang Bumitaw is in the sense na kailan mo siya huling kinanta na parang kinailangan mong humugot kasi baka masaya ka na di ba? Ayaw mo na pumunta sa place na parang gusto mong bumitaw.
I think, well, first of all, I just also want to acknowledge na I am not the original singer of this song. This song is actually written by Ate Shireen Rehis. This is the original, just as a queen. Alam nyo naman, grabe din talaga.
Athlete, diba?
Diba?
No note is too high para sa kanya.
Of course, sobra. And so, I remember nung binigay sa akin yung song to be for me to interpret for yung teleserye na Broken Marriage Vow. Yung habang inaaral ko yung kanta, yung parang mapapakapit ka na lang. Yung gano'n na parang, okay, so we're doing this. And then syempre, going into the session with Kuya Jonathan pa, who is also very known to really challenge his singers mo talaga. And I was challenged. Being in that studio na parang, Kuya Jonathan, really? We're gonna go up there pa talaga? Na parang, ang taas na nun. Pero I mean, I'm just very grateful na tinrust pa ako ni Kuya Jonathan, ng lahat ng producers nung show na yon to breathe life into this song. But every time I sing the song, it does take a lot of emotional parang internalization. Kasi syempre, like you said, you wanna be able to, kahit na syempre I was also, when I did the song, I was already just happily married. And so it didn't match up na parang gusto ko nang bumitaw pero kakasal mo lang. Parang, okay ka lang ba? Pero I had to, syempre, and I do this with a lot of performances and a lot of songs na I don't necessarily feel sad in the moment. Humuhugot ako ng experience in the past. Or even if it's not exactly what I'm going through, parang ini-interpret ko siya in a way na is still very, very true to me. And so I think, honestly, I don't even remember the last time I sang Gusto Ko Nang Bumitaw. But I do remember na parang I needed to just take a step back. Na parang, huwag niyo muna akong kausapin. Ko muna to, i-embody ko to kasi I have sung this song very few times, but every time I always want to give 100%.
Yes.
And so I think in the last one, I was just, I was feeling it. Parang even si Dave, yung asawa ko, sabi ko, wag mo muna akong kausapin. Ako muna to. Saka ka na. Okay na tayo after. But this moment is, I think, for me to just literally ibitaw ko siya. Ibitaw ko lahat ng kung ano mang naramdaman kong, I guess, insecurity, pain, doubt. Ito na yun. This is my moment. So,
and I'm sure meron ding instances na parang hindi mo na masyadong kinailangan mag-effort na humugot kasi pwede ko na rin nabwisit ka lang sa traffic that day.
Doon na labas, diba?
Or puyat ka for that night. Like, you know what? I have the perfect song to release all this stress that I'm feeling right now.
Yes.
Diba?
Legit. Yes po talaga.
But I love na... I guess it also makes it even more special that you've only performed it a handful of times because every time you sing it, while it is going to be hard, there's also an added layer of this is extra special today.
Yes, for sure po talaga. And even my fans know na parang hindi na sila umaasa na kakantahin ko yung song na yan for certain events that have happened in the last couple of years. But when it's a big one, it's like, oh my gosh, this is not a normal day.
Correct.
Kakanta na ng Gusto Na Bumitaw. Ganun pong level.
Correct. Parang siya, pag si Beyonce, nilalabas bigla si Kelly and Michelle sa mga concert. Parang ganun siya ka-special.
Yes.
It needs to be a very, very special
moment. It needs to be
moment.
a moment talaga siya.
Correct.
Opo.
But you've also been working for, I guess, professionally or parang in the public eye for about 15 years now.
Yes, 15.
But of course, getting there, 'di ba? You had to work your butt off, not just you, but your parents, your family.
Everybody, opo.
Everybody. Kumbaga, you are the result of a lot of love, but also a lot of sacrifices.
Yes,
right?
yes.
A lot of sacrifices.
Yes,
I'm curious to talk about basically parang the different moments that led you to finally, let's just for reference purposes, finally getting on The Voice because I think that was your biggest break.
Yes.
Yeah, diba?
I guess to backtrack it, so I am born and raised in Cebu. I've done a lot of singing competitions there. And then I think one of the major things, even before The Voice, and this is actually why it's 15 years for me because The Voice was 2013.
Yes.
That was 2013. Pero I started since 2010 because before ABS-CBN, I was actually with TV5.
Oh.
For 3 years, I joined. Yung unang show na sinalihan ko was Talentadong Pinoy. Nag-audition ako sa
classic.
diba? Of course, all-arounder, diba? Talentadong Pinoy. I joined that. And I remember at that moment, I don't know why, if I may share, I remember being a little bit frustrated kasi yung mga songs na gusto kong kantahin, ayaw nilang ipakanta sa akin. Just because it was overused na rin on the show and on TV na parang ang dami nang kumanta. And so, it ended up up na I sang Empire State of Mind by Alicia Keys. New York, New York.
Correct.
And I just remember na yun yung napiling kanta because that was just on the radio and I guess they wanted it to be let's make it more relevant rather than just singing the usual Contesera songs. I didn't make it through and that was here na in Manila, and then I flew back to Cebu. Me and my mom, that was just kami muna in the beginning, and then biglang one of the judges of the show, si Tito Odi Himora, he had reached out to my parents and said na it's so unfortunate na hindi ako naka-move forward sa Talentadong Pinoy, but TV5 is brewing this new show na it's gonna be like an artista search, and it's called Star Factor, and I think I would be a fit and they think na I would be a fit for the show. So I went through the whole process again, audition ako, and fast forward to I finished first runner-up on that show and was absorbed as an artist sa TV5. And so from 2010 to 2013, right before The Voice was out, I was basically an artist ng TV5, being a singer, and then eventually I also needed to take acting gigs na rin as well because the singing parang very konti lang yung opportunities sa 5 at that time for me to be able to share my voice, and so I need to venture out into that. And so there was actually so much pa that happened.
From 2010 to 2013. So
ang dami na po.
Ang dami nangyari. Actually, good thing you brought that up. Because I think marami kang kailangan baguhin na, I guess, perspective kapag, okay, marami ka na napanood ng contest where you're from, diba, Cebu. Pero like, so parang all of a sudden, parang, okay, I think I have a good gauge of what my sound is,
yes,
diba, the things that I want to do, what I'm great at. But all of a sudden, parang you move to like a bigger pond to use some imagery here. And all of a sudden, a lot of people are telling you, no, we want you to be this way. We want you to be that way. How did you negotiate with these many voices around you when you already had data na parang, tama naman to ginagawa ko, pero why do they want me to zag when I know how to zig? Naalala mo ba how those negotiations kind of happened?
Actually po, well, in the beginning, and even up until now, I really just want to sing. Well, in the beginning, that was just my dream na gusto ko lang, I just want to be able to share my voice, I guess be known for my voice, have an original song, diba? That, I think, realization came after The Voice. Just because I really just wanted to be utilized for my voice, and I allowed for that to happen. I'm happy na ang daming opportunities na dumating even when I didn't win The Voice or I didn't win Star Factor. All of these singing competitions, hindi ako nanalo, but I'm just very grateful and very blessed na marami pa ring doors na nag-open for me. The realization about like the image and the sound came only after na parang, okay, so this is to consider na syempre ang dami talagang magaling na singers dito sa bansa natin. How do we stand out? So yun na parang, okay, how can I make a very, I guess, distinct na this is me. And so I also just want to give credit to his name is Kiko Salazar, who is actually the songwriter of Akin Ka Na Lang, and siya po talaga yung tumulong sa akin to find that voice, and siya yung nag-stretch sa boses ko, whereas before it was like singing like my idols, diba? Singing like Whitney, Mariah, Regine, Ate Sarah, all of that. Just singing like them. But I really didn't have yung parang, sino ka ba talaga? That only came when I started to, after Akin Ka Na Lang, I worked very heavily with Kuya Kiko on my EP, with Star Music as well. And siya talaga yung nag-stretch ng range ko, na parang pinapatry niya ako nitong mga techniques na parang, hindi naman to usually pero I was just super game. And I will always be thankful for Kuya Kiko for parang, I guess, putting a name to the abilities that I could do. Na siya talaga yung parang, kaya mo rin yan, kaya mo rin to. Parang sobrang kilala niya din yung boses ko. Nag-mold din talaga siya. And so, I'm happy na I went through all of that to be able to, I guess yun, like a lot of the sound that people have supported me with and loved me for is a lot of the work that Kuya Kiko has done with me. So I'm very grateful.
So, ang ganda rin that you mentioned na, you just really wanted to be able to sing and be utilized for your vocal prowess first, and then eventually the development of a sound, of an artistic stamp eventually came later, because I feel like that's kind of that's that's how artistry is, diba? Parang first you show the world the skills that you have. You show the world how you are useful in being able to have those skills that you have. Then eventually you have earned the right to develop a sound, a stamp.
Yeah.
So I think you're known for the belts, the crazy stamina. Minsan nanonood ako ng mga ASAP videos mo na parang 20 seconds na siyang hindi humihinga, isang phrase pa rin sa kanya yun. Diba? May mga ganon. But of course, people know you for the whistle. Oh Holy Night. Girl, my God. I hope it's Christmas every day so that I get to hear that all the time. The whistle and of course the vocal scratch.
Yes,
diba?
yes.
Yeah.
You squeak.
You squeak. So
Yes.
the vocal squeak. I think the whistle parang it's very remarkable, definitely. But I think nung narinig ko na talaga yung squeak, I was like, oh, this is very deliberate in including this in the presentation of the song that you are doing.
Apo.
Can you take me through lang like the conception of that squeak that people now know you for?
Ooh. So actually in the beginning, it wasn't a thing that I was actively doing talaga with my voice. But so it was my dad who really trained me to be the singer that I am. Siya yung like he's also a musician, so he's very meticulous when it comes to notes and like techniques and trying to copy what other singers sound. And so marami din siyang natulong po talaga with the foundation of my singing ngayon. But I remember, and this was even before The Voice, even before TV5 na, kasi yung yung training ko po dati is every after school, kahit 1 hour lang, kakanta lang ako ng kakanta. As in any play, may mga CD kami na yung mga videoke, karaoke, CDs, play dyan, kanta ka lang anong mga bagay song hanggat sa ma-stretch, and then that's it. And then I do homework, whatever, after school. But, I think there was that one time na sabi ni Daddy, you know what? There's this song, and the very first song that really exposed me to the technique was Nina's version of Foolish Heart.
I mean, again, I think that was sign number 32 na nung ginagaya ko siya, parang siguro bakla ako, no? But yeah, I mean, but yes, that definitely is such a vivid sound if you think about it.
I remember, and nung time pa nga na to, hindi pa ako actually late bloomer na ako sa Mariah whistling and techniques na It was really Ate Nina and her version of Foolish Heart na parang grabe. And then like that whistle note, yung notes na yun particularly, kasi syempre like dito sa piano.
Correct.
Nasa taas talaga, mataas talaga siya. And so I guess dinatry ko, nakakaya naman. It's like my dad had it in the back of his mind na parang,
sorry,
okay.
I have to pause you.
No,
The fact na sinabi mong, nakakaya naman, like nonchalantly, mataas, akala ko mataas, pero parang kaya naman pala.
Nakakaya naman nung inatem.
Okay.
Nung inatem, nakakaya naman. And so, parang, pero like hindi naman siya. Kasi also, there weren't a lot of songs that required to do that.
Because it's an incredibly hard thing
Kasi
to execute.
Kasi mahirap nga siya din. And so, hindi ko siya talaga like sobrang tinutukan for, at least when I was doing TV5, hindi ko talaga siya na-touch. It wasn't until, I guess, after The Voice na I also don't know how itong si Kuya Kiko, I don't know how he realized na I could whistle also. But my dad was very active also on social media.
Yeah.
Basically, every time I perform even sa mga singing contest, ina-upload na niya agad yun sa YouTube. And so siguro nakita ni Kuya Kiko yun. And so I remember when he told me na when he was writing Akin Ka Na Lang, having me in mind na parang sana si Morissette ang mag-interpret nitong song na to for Himig Handog. Yung range ng boses ko na-tap niya lahat, including the whistle. Yeah. And so, but I guess it was also opportunity sa ASAP na yun nga. Syempre, ang dami naming singers dun. How can I stand out? And I guess the very first time or opportunity that I did, I think the very first time that I did the whistle on TV and on ASAP was, I sang Beyonce's, ano nga to yung, I want it too bad. That one.
Best thing I never had. Such a criminally underrated song from the album 4.
I love that song.
Especially the bridge.
Diba? And just like, basta ang daming ginagawa ni Mother Queen Bee dyan. Na when that song was assigned to me, sabi ko, you know what? I need to do something. I need to do something pa. And so I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was the very first time na sabi ko, you know what? I'm just gonna go for it. May time pa naman na bago darating yung next singer, may portion, ito na, ibabuelo ko na. nagawa na. So like, ayun na, oh my gosh, she's known for that. And then biglang sunod-sunod na parang every opportunity that I had,
Ayan,
I
tuloy.
had to... Honestly, there's no one else to blame. It's just me. Kasi gawa ko ng gawa ng whistle. Ayan na tuloy. And so I'm just very, very happy that people have... I mean, I'm not the first, diba? I'm not naman the first to do the whistling. As I said, diba, si Ate Nina has done it many countless times. And I think even sila Ate Kyla even, and Ate Jonna as well, like able to reach those whistle notes. But as for the squeak naman, yung parang scratch siya, that one I only found later.
Oh.
Nauna yung whistle, and then when I guess I was also just trying to do more research and how else I could hone my voice. I think it was when Kuya Kiko was telling me to study, like just study Mariah naman. Study Mariah. And so, because that was also the sound that he of course he loves Mariah. So as we do,
yes.
diba? Like everybody. And so he was asking me to study Mariah because that was also the genre that he was going for the EP that I was working on. And I noticed na ginagawa din pala ni Mariah yun.
Yeah.
And so when I was trying it, it was like, oh, it's a placement. Sorry, I'm gonna get technical, but
No,
it's like
please go ahead. Yeah.
It's a placement na nadadaanan ko going into the whistle. Pero nasa stop ko siya. And so sabi ko, okay, pwede pala. And then I realized na Jessie J does the same thing. Demi Lovato does the same thing.
Mukha mo vocalist. Pero I mean, I see, I do get your point. I do get your point.
Like, they do that. They have that element din sa boses nila na nakakaya din nilang ganunin. It's like, sige, gawin na rin natin. Sige. And so, I guess, I've just done it enough na people have associated me with the vocal technique. And I'm grateful and I'm happy that it has come to that.
I love it. Pero, I mean, I guess we
siya.
get into yung making it your stamp nga. So, every time that you know na, okay, I have two things na medyo pasabog at paandar with the whistle and the scratch. How do you pick and choose when to put that? Kasi parang how do you make sure na it's always earned and that it's not, ginagawa na naman niya to impress?
Do you feel lost, doubting yourself, and tired? You question your worth and existence? Well, I'm here for you. Hey, this is Gailey Chavez, and I'm the host of Free Yourself Podcast. My podcast talks about self-love, self-discovery, and growth. This is for everyone who wants to live their fullest life and become the person that they could be. Let me help out and remind you that this is your life, your path, that you are not broken, and you are worth it. Catch me every Friday at 8 p.m. See ya!
Oh, actually, it wasn't until like many years after that na I realized it was taking a toll on my voice.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
yun na siya. It has come to that po. And I especially just recently, of course, I'm having to go around to promote my concert. And a lot of people always ask me, are you going to whistle in the show? Just because I also have not done it in a while. I will be very, very transparent, very honest. I have considered it, but considering also how super challenging na rin po talaga itong upcoming concert ko po, itong Ember. Honestly, I'm doing so many songs na wala akong, like you said, wala akong ibang masisi. Kasi ako yung gumawa ng set list. Wala akong ibang masisi. Like, as I'm running through the show na parang,
Kaya pa ba?
30 minutes into the show, I'm telling you right now, I have no one else to blame. Pero it is a very vocally challenging show. Not to the point na parang I don't think I can do this to myself pa.
Yeah.
Na I tell this all the time to Dave na parang I have these moments of temptation na parang I guess I want to surprise people to still want to do it.
Yeah.
But then I tell him na parang, but then there's always this yung kapalit.
Yeah.
Na it's hurting my voice more, and knowing na if I do it in the middle, even if I do it by the end of the show, yung kapalit na parang mas lalo lang na damage pa yung boses ko. Parang parang ano yung lagi natin sinasabi na parang that little moment of satisfaction for others, if it costs me
A lot of stress.
ang laki ng cost
Kasi
sa akin.
as early as now, you are thinking about it, which obviously,
I really
parang
am.
it is taking some form of toll, and and I think it is unfair to kind of for people to put that pressure on you, because a 5-10 second whistling or scratching should not dictate the quality of a 2-hour show. Diba? So parang, ayun lang.
My husband says, yeah.
Diba?
Also because po, and I say this talaga with with all my heart, na I really do acknowledge every time people are looking forward to it, diba?
Yeah.
Like, ako din as a performer, hindi ko minsan matiis yun, na parang gusto ko ibigay
you're
yung
a
gusto ng
performer.
tao,
Correct,
diba?
yeah.
But then at the same time, I guess it also just coming from a time in my career na people saw it was I guess the peak at the time of my career, which I would say is my last Araneta show back in 2018. That year was the peak of my career, but it was also the lowest.
Oh.
It was the lowest because I was doing so many things, including touring that concert, which was made, and I never had the time to recover. Na to the point na, and I had attempted it na parang after that, like there were moments during that year, 2018, 2019, na of course, I want to impress my audience, diba? Na magwi-whistle ako, tapos hindi siya lalabas. Like the trauma it gave me po
Of
talaga na
course.
parang, this is not, it became a trauma for me na I wasn't enjoying what I was doing during those years po talaga. And so, and to just be technical also with it, it's like I'm doing a show 100%. I'm doing a show, and then it goes to like 30 magto 30% yung boses ko, and then unfortunately syempre I'm still having to do events on the side besides doing the
Yes.
actual concert, and so siguro maghihil ako ng up until 85, and then when I do the events, and syempre ilang songs din yun na hindi din madali, babalik siya. It was that for 2 years of my career na parang I was never recovering.
Yeah,
I was
that's hard.
never recovering, and to the point every time kakanta ko, kahit na hindi ako magwi-whistle, tutungtong lang ako sa stage, natatakot na po ako.
Kasi baka
Kung ano na namang mangyari sa... Kasi it has also happened na I thought I was okay, and then as I went through my songs in the show, nawalan ako ng boses. And so it's many moments like that na parang it has led for me to really think twice on what my priorities should be.
Yeah.
And that for me is, of course, my priority will be my health na.
Yeah.
And I'm just very... for me, the pandemic worked to my advantage because it allowed for me to rest, but it also allowed for me to reassess ano ba talaga ang goal ko doing this.
Yeah.
I do also parang ang tawag dito, I also want to parang put out there na along with that priority, syempre my goals have changed na rin.
Yes.
Na parang hindi lang basta-basta kung ano-anong songs ang gusto kong kantahin. I want to actually make an impact.
Yeah.
And so during that time, nung pandemic, I got into songwriting, and I wanted to put out songs na hindi ako takot. I mean, my songs that I write also right now are hindi din naman siya madali, which is again choice ko.
But hindi siya kasing hirap nung mga tipong the take to, or
Opo.
medyo mahirap.
Meron pa din po. Again, me. na pag example ito, just to share also, the very first song that I put out na I co-wrote with my husband and co-produced was a song called Love You Still. Honestly, this song could have just been an easy listening song which still has so much heart and it's still very vulnerable. Pero itong si Morissette, ayaw paawat. Meron pa rin siyang G-sharp 5 sa kantang yan na minsan every time kakantayin ko yung kanta, yung parang bakit ko ba ginawa to sa sarili ko? Pwede namang hindi. Pwede namang hindi G-sharp 5. Pwede namang F or whatever, di ba? Or like not that high of a note. But then I guess again, it goes back to still wanting to prove myself every time. Even when people say na parang wala ka naman ang kailangan patunayan. Pero wala eh. That's the mindset that I have.
But also, I think that's part of every artist's creative process, di ba? Parang you take risks that that feel good to you.
Yes, yes,
Diba?
yes.
So I think naman, I guess the fact that there is a conscious effort to make healthier choices, to make sure that the instrument continues to be strong and can have better longevity. I think
Of
the fact
course.
that you have those things to be considered, you're already doing the right thing versus like 5-7 years ago na hindi, parang hataw lang,
Opo.
diba?
Parang, it was the mentality, I guess, also before na parang, yung strike while the iron is hot
Yes,
mentality.
of course.
Na parang, I guess, I mean, you can still do that now, but at the same time, at what cost?
Yes.
At what
correct.
cost, diba? Like, you could be hustling for long periods of time, but then you're missing out on, I guess, family milestones or like not being able to like like just spend time with also people that you love and have supported you for so long. And so these are the things that have, I guess, shifted. It really is a big perspective shift for me when I went through the pandemic and going into what I am going into now, and even the sound that I'm producing now as well. It's a very big perspective shift.
Yeah.
And yun, I remember na it wasn't easy in the beginning. It took a lot of like, bakit ko pa ba, why am I still going through this when it was 8 years into my career na parang okay naman na.
Yeah.
And that was also a lot of I guess what my fans, and not I guess fans or like general fans would say na parang bakit ka pa ba nag-start again with trying to write your own music when you have songwriters who are readily wanting to offer their songs to you for you to interpret, pero bakit ko daw pa, I mean, they're not really saying this, but like it's I guess that is a thought process that some of them go through na parang why am I having to go through that change?
Yes,
pa?
but I think it's a matter of being parang you have kumbaga, to use like an inside out reference. Diba? Parang there is a voice in your head that performs, wants to impress, but I think it's about developing a healthy relationship with that voice in your head. Na okay, papaandaran ko kayo on pockets of my life that I feel safe enough to be able to do it. So parang yung relationship mo nga with like, do I put the whistle and the scratch sa concert na to?
Yeah.
You can decide up until the last minute if you do it.
No,
Diba?
I do.
Diba? Dapat
I
ganyan.
honestly also do.
Yeah.
There's also those moments na parang, you know what? I feel lucky today.
Yeah.
And I want to share this luck with everybody.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna do all those little quirks at the end of the day, diba? Parang, pero like you said, na parang it's gonna be a moment.
Yes.
Hindi lang siya random. Yeah.
I think ang pinaka narinig ko rin now is talagang your discipline to just singing in general is really something that's incredibly remarkable. And
thank you.
in a number of interviews you have mentioned nga, and even kanina na parang you trained really hard to be able to get to this point. So I do improv comedy. We have this principle called train hard, fight easy. So parang mag-train ka everyday para pag tumungtong ka sa stage, parang si Neo sa Matrix na yung mga bullets ganun-ganun na lang sa'yo, diba? But also I think when your parents were training you in the moment, it must have felt incredibly, or correct me if I'm wrong, it must have felt incredibly hard to be able to just, oh my God, kailangan natin mag-train today, kailangan natin kumanta kasi yun ang gusto ni
Especially as a kid.
Diba?
No, but especially as young as I was, diba, 9, 10, 11, and I just wanted to enjoy childhood or whatever. I still did, but like it was in those moments na parang, but maybe I don't want to do it today, you know? Na parang, pwedeng pass tayo today or whatever. But that came very, very rarely. My parents, especially my mom nga po and my dad, they were very strict with just diba, just i-develop natin to. It's more like, I mean, I don't mean to sound religious, but it's more like parang having to prepare something you don't know is there for you, na ibibigay na ni Lord sa'yo just because you worked hard also for it. Parang something like, I don't know if I'm
Ako, meron ganyang concept called like, I think 10,000 hours. Na parang, if you do something consistently for X number of hours, eventually, there is going to be a shift around you na the opportunities which you trained for are finally gonna show up. Diba? Yes, and I think si Regine Velasquez, baka ma-misquote ko lang siya dito, but I think in an episode of Drag Race, she mentioned na she actually lost more times, I think, sa mga singing contests when she was starting versus the ones that she won.
Yeah.
It is also a numbers game eh. I think you have to approach it that way. And yes, I'm sure every loss is gonna hurt. Pero because I'm also from sales, alam ko na parang if I talk to 10 clients, may dalawa diyang bibili.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
same way
yeah.
na ganun sa competition, di ba?
Yes,
You have
yes.
to run the numbers game. I guess ang gusto ko malaman, when did that shift happen na you took it less personally because you knew that it was a matter of, okay, this one is not for me, but that doesn't mean hindi ako magaling. Diba? Kasi tipong, you can take it personally if you wanted to, but
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
want to stay the course, a big part of it is developing a really thick skin for the industry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes po talaga. Like what I shared po earlier na parang none of the singing competitions, or at least the ones on TV that I joined, Talentadong Pinoy, Star Factor, The Voice, none of those competitions I necessarily made it to the very, very end, or like at least
Yeah.
like one, diba po? And so, but definitely, as you were sharing that, the specific moment for me na parang I didn't allow for the loss to stop me was, I guess it was also because it wasn't really a singing competition thing. It was when I did my very first Himig Handog.
Oh.
So Akin Ka Na Lang was my very first song that was given to Star Music to me to interpret, written by Kiko Salazar. And basically, I did so much amazing promo for that batch, for the song, right even before the grand finals, na I had the opportunity of singing Akin Ka Na Lang with, then was the ABS-CBN Philharmonic Orchestra and so many stuff like that. Pero pagdating ng grand finals, talo kami. Not even, I don't think there was even like a audience favorite award na parang, and I just remember na parang, this was the specific moment na sabi ko na, maybe it's just not time.
Yeah.
It's just not time for this song. But for me, in the moment, I just remember I was just very, very grateful na I actually had a song.
Yeah.
I had the mind shift for me was, okay, me and Kuya Kiko might have lost Himig Handog, but for me, the win was, oh my gosh, I have a song.
Yeah.
And so I'm very happy na I had a song. There was a song na I could actually say na this is a song that ako original yung gano'n na hindi lang cover.
Yeah.
And so I was singing Akin Ka Na Lang everywhere and everywhere. And I'm just very happy na I trusted my gut on that as well, because I was able to release more songs after that. But I feel like the peak of Akin Ka Na Lang, or when it really hit, was 4 years later.
Yeah.
Which was back in 2018 when I was promoting my then concert, which was Morissette Is Made, and I sang Akin Ka Na Lang on the Wish Bus. Yun.
And that goes back to discipline eh. Diba? Parang dapat best foot forward. You give your all. You train for it.
Of course.
Your instrument is in the best condition. Because you don't know, in 4 years' time, diba, the right choice that you made today might be
Rewarded,
diba?
diba
And I
po?
think that goes back to discipline, because you were trained in an environment wherein consistently doing something excellently is the bare minimum.
Opo. And I
Diba?
think also for me po, I guess at least for me, I will only speak for myself, na parang also not winning the competitions, I think allowed for me to just appreciate hard work more.
Yeah.
Kasi yung parang dahil hindi ako nanalo, it's not the case naman for everybody and everything, but like dahil hindi ako nanalo, hindi naibigay sa akin yung opportunities ng ganun-ganun lang. Hindi, it's not as easy.
Yeah.
And so because I didn't win, I had to work twice as hard. And so like you said na parang I had to like hustle more times probably than someone else, because I didn't get crowned or I didn't win the certain competitions that I did, but and I'm just happy na I stuck to that. I continued to work hard until a big opportunity came.
And feeling ko in losing or not being crowned somebody, you also get the opportunity to learn how to give yourself a lot of grace.
Yeah.
Which I think is very, very important.
It's just as important
Diba?
po talaga.
It might even be more important because diba, the moments that you win, it is fleeting. Pero like when you are by yourself, when you are not in front of the camera, when you are struggling to just find what your next creative move is, having learned grace in past experiences, I think can come in very handy.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
Grabe.
That's something that I'm also having to go through. Well, in the last couple of years specifically, as ayun nga po nung pandemic, I got into songwriting and producing as well. And that wasn't an easy feat for me just because yun nga na parang why it's the insecurity, it's the doubt of like why am I having to, but hindi na lang ako nagsettle, yung ganon. But hindi na lang ako nagsettle ng okay naman na ako yung ganon, 'di ba? But I guess yun, it goes back to what are my goals, 'di ba? Now that I'm in this mindset, what are my goals now? And right now, I would have to say that my goal is growth and longevity. And that's why I'm having to take a lot of sacrifice with trying to learn other techniques na hindi lang puro like chest belting kung tinatawag ng mga singers na technical, but I'm still able to achieve the same, I guess, notes with other healthier techniques for my voice. And so it really is a lot of parang shifting the mindset na parang I guess it's needed that you're having to go through some such
what I'm getting right now is parang I feel like you are in the thick of just giving birth to something, and I think that is your concert. I know in the moment it can feel like, oh my God, there are so many tasks to be accomplished.
Alam
pero
niyo lang.
parang, diba? Pero parang ako, but girl, I think you got it. I'm sure right now ang dami mong kailangan gawin, but I'm sure it is gonna be fine and you are going to just enjoy. Diba?
Honestly, I'm just very happy din po. I'm very, very blessed. I have a team who really supports me for like the vision and everything that I also want to achieve na now. They genuinely see it. Hindi lang siya yung parang go lang. Yung parang, oh my gosh, we see it.
Correct.
We wanna be on board with making this vision happen. And so I'm just very, very blessed, especially right now with Ember, with the upcoming concert that I'm gonna be doing. This is gonna be my first time actually producing a show of this size and this caliber. So like you said po, it has taken so much of my brain cells. A lot of them I have mourned them. And a lot of them have like, okay, let go ko na to because I don't need to be worrying about this na. Yeah. But I would have to say na it has been very, very worthwhile.
Let's talk about that. You in your producing era. Diba? Because I think in producing, you have to make a lot of creatively ambitious calls because it needs to be a very, very strong product. But you also have to lead. Diba? You have to lead a team of ideators, creatives, and all that. Which parts of you producing parang were you surprised that kind of came naturally to you? Na parang, okay, meron pala akong ganyang particular people skills or whatever. And which parts, tipong, oh, I'm trying to learn this part of being a producer.
I think also one of the very first reasons why I decided to also produce this specific concert for my 15th was because I guess in the beginning when I had this dream concept of a concert, I guess natatakot lang din po ako na baka people won't see the vision. And so, I guess I took it as an investment na parang, sige, coming from my own, marami naman akong na-save. And I'm just very happy na marami din akong na-save and marami pa rin mga opportunities for me to be able to do this financially as well, diba? But like, I really wanted to also invest my own money into it just because I guess I was scared na, kasi, diba, it's like, I mean, you're in sales po siguro, so probably would understand that. Parang for me, it was so hard to sell also. Na kahit nasabihin ko na I'm gonna be singing my hardest songs. But then, I've done so many shows in the past that I have sung those hard songs, just not in one show.
Yes.
But at the same time also, it's also the reality of right now, ang dami namin nagko-concert. You know, yung parang, it's the ang dami kong
sinusugal.
Sugal po talaga.
Araw-araw.
Super po talaga na parang, it's so hard to just push it. And syempre, like right now, we're leaning towards the end of the year. And so, like, ang dami kong factors, honestly.
Of course.
Ang dami talaga na parang, okay, this is gonna be really, really, this is really not gonna be easy as to like, even just to sell the show to sponsors.
Correct.
And then this is like back-end stuff na, even to just do that.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
Na parang siguro ikaw, actually, baka ang pinakamadaling part nito ay yung pagkanta.
Po talaga. Na
Diba?
parang dati, hindi ko naman to kailangang iniisipin, pero here we are.
Yeah.
I have no one else to blame again. It's just me. Pero I'm happy po that I am taking this kasi ang lagi naming sinasabi po ng asawa ko, just because also because my husband is also very heavily involved in really putting everything together, is a mindset na lang namin is like, babe, this is character building. We are gonna be stronger after this. At least after the show, we can say, no, we did that.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
can look back. Hopefully, I'm still doing this for another 15 years. We can look back and say, you know what? That 15th anniversary concert in Araneta, we did that.
Yeah.
We took so many risks. Ang dami nating na-realize, dami nating learnings, pero we did that.
Yeah.
And here we are. Hopefully, diba, here we are 15 years later. We're still doing this. Maybe, hopefully, by then, mas marami pa kaming nagawa. And so, yun, it does take a lot of grace. It takes a lot of...
Gusto ko yung ang dami niya ng...
No po
I
talaga,
love
kaya ko
it.
ilabas. Kaya pa ba?
Diba?
Kakayanin!
No, pero I think you are, what you're doing is I don't want you to feel na parang you are alone in it, because I work with a lot of drag queens. Like I work with Marina Summers, arguably one of the biggest drag queens in the country. She always reinvests her money sa drag niya.
Yeah.
'Di ba? So, and I think you are energetically doing the same thing, 'di ba? Yung mga naipon mo, isusugal mo because you are giving yourself more priority this time, 'di ba?
Yeah.
So, not all risks pay off, but I think it's always about the things to be learned so you can take smarter risks moving forward.
Yes, yun po talaga.
Insurance brand.
Open-minded ka ba?
Diba?
Charot.
Pero ganun siya. But I'm very excited to see how it turns out. But yes, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having
And naging therapy session na siya.
Actually, yes.
Diba? But yes, please invite everyone. Anong klaseng Morissette ang makikita nila sa Ember?
Oh my gosh, yes. So, ayun po, Ember is a concert that's gonna be happening very, very soon. And it is in celebration of my 15 years in the industry. It's happening October 28th at the Smart Araneta Coliseum. And tickets are still out, so we hope that you guys could join us. But I guess the Morissette that they will see here is the Morissette who has just been taking so many risks and is not afraid. Parang staying true, I guess, also to the moniker, diba? Yung Asia's Phoenix, na parang, na yun, there are moments that you are gonna, I guess, turn into ashes, but it's the choice, it's the conscious choice of standing up every time hindi, I guess, when things don't really go your way or whatever, it's the conscious choice na parang, this will not let me stop me. And so I take that to heart. Kahit na, di ba, Asia's Phoenix, people gave that to me as dahil grabing biritera. But for me, I really take that personally in a way na parang, na kahit na anumang napagdaanan ko, nandito pa din ako. We still choose to rise. And so, I like to, this concert is, I guess, it's gonna resonate that, na parang kahit anumang nangyari, she's still here, she's fighting, and at the same time, she's also still enjoying life. And so,
hindi
yun.
siya bibitaw.
Amen! At the end of the day.
Ang pinaka-importante. But thank you so much. This was such a lovely conversation.
No, thank you po.
Therapy na may halong talk on creativity, but more importantly, giving ourselves grace na nakakapagod ang buhay. Yes.
That's the reality of it. Diba? And I even tell people na parang, example, even just choosing a job, diba? Kahit saan mo ilalagay sarili mo, there's always gonna be pagod and stress.
Yes.
Piliin mo na lang kung ano ang kaya mong i-endure.
Correct.
Diba?
Yun talaga yun.
Choose your battles, diba? Parang, and diba, at the end of the day, there's no one else, I guess, to at least at the end of the day, there's no one else to blame.
Yes.
But it is a conscious choice that you made for yourself. And so,
a lot of
kaya
accountability.
yan. Accountability.
A lot of accountability from you today. But thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to rate and review us on Apple Podcast, YouTube, and Spotify. Make sure to follow us and follow Kaya Pa Ba Pod on Instagram and wherever you see it. But that's it. Maraming salamat. Thank you so much, Morissette.
Daghang
Asia's
salamat.
Phoenix.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company, or individual.